Okay, let's get into it. We're doing a deep dive today on the Summer Davos. That's the World Economic Forum's annual meeting of the new champions, just finished up in Dalian, China. Now, this one's usually focused on, emerging tech, fast-growing companies, the innovators. But our sources, they painted a really different picture this year. The usual optimism, kind of gone. Instead, it felt more like everyone was holding their breath. A sense that the old rules just don't apply anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's pretty significant, isn't it, for an event that's supposed to be about, well, new champions and progress. It felt less like a celebration and, frankly, more like a warning signal, a signal about, global fragmentation. So our mission here is really to unpack what happened and, crucially, what this growing uncertainty might mean for you.
Okay, so this uncertainty, this fragmentation, what were the core issues, the fault lines, really? Reading through the notes, three things jump out. The global economic slowdown, obviously, those ongoing trade disputes, and just rising geopolitical tension, especially between China and the West. That U.S. China friction seemed central.
Oh, absolutely central.
And the trust issue. I mean, it wasn't just talk, right? We heard about companies actually refusing data-sharing deals they might have signed just a year ago.
Exactly. That shows it's hitting real business decisions.
And you saw that play out. American firms looking to diversify supply chains, moving away from China where possible.
Definitely. And on the flip side, Chinese companies pushing harder for, self-reliance, especially in tech and energy.
Like tech. That brings up another point. This friction, it wasn't just trade goods, was it?
No, not at all. It goes way deeper. Technology, data control, that was huge. China's pushing this idea of digital sovereignty, basically controlling data within its borders.
Which clashes pretty hard with Western concerns about surveillance, cyber threats, transparency issues.
Precisely. And it's leading towards this, almost a split internet, a bifurcation. Global companies are finding it incredibly tough. They almost need separate tech setups for different regions now. One person we spoke to called it a tech iron curtain. Maybe a bit dramatic, but you get the idea.
Wow. A tech iron curtain.
Yeah. And then you saw these advanced AI applications from Chinese firms, smart cities, facial recognition. But international experts there were asking some tough questions about the ethics, mainly.
Okay, so global tensions, tech divides.
Yeah.
But wasn't there also something about China's own economy adding to the mood?
Oh, absolutely. That was definitely part of the undercurrent. Beijing's facing some serious domestic headwinds. People were talking about weak consumer spending, really high youth unemployment figures. Oh, that's worrying. Plus, the property sector is still struggling, and foreign investment noticeably down from past years.
So even Chinese officials were acknowledging challenges.
They were. They admitted, the road ahead won't be easy, which is quite an admission at a forum like this. Premier Li Qiang gave a speech, stressed multilateralism, open markets, but also drew a clear line. Said China won't accept outside interference in its internal affairs. A standard line, but maybe with more edge this time.
Interesting. And how did others react, like the Europeans, other Asian countries? Still keen on the market, I assume.
Keen, yes. It's a massive market, hard to ignore, but very cautious. In the private sessions, you heard a lot more concern. Worries about regulatory risks, lack of transparency, those government crackdowns. It made investors nervous.
Okay, one more area. What about the environment? Climate change, usually a big topic at WEF events.
Yeah, interesting you asked that. It was definitely discussed, but with less urgency, it felt like. Compared to previous years, certainly, the focus seemed to be much more squarely on economic recovery, maybe at the expense of climate commitments for now.
So things like green tech investments, which were big last year, less prominent.
Much less prominent on the main stage, often pushed to smaller side events, and the climate NGOs there, they were pretty critical. They felt environmental issues got sidelined, pointed to a slowdown in some cross-border climate projects discussed before.
Okay, so pulling it all together.
Yeah.
What's the big takeaway here?
Look, the overwhelming feeling, the message coming out of this Summer Davos, it felt like a pretty stark warning signal. A signal that, global cooperation might be fracturing, new alliances are forming, maybe regional blocs, and the global economy could be heading for a much more fragmented future.
A fragmented future. That sounds pretty challenging. And it raises the question, right? If cooperation is breaking down like this, how does that fragmentation affect our ability to tackle the really big global problems, the ones that need everyone working together, things like future pandemics or meeting climate goals? It definitely gives you something to think about. What stands